Golf Talk Thailand Presented by Sing Corporation
สวัสดีครับท่านผู้ชมครับต้อนรับเข้าสู่ Golf Talk Thailand นะครับสัปดาห์นี้แขกรับเชิญของผมเป็นนักธุรกิจชาวอเมริกันนะครับเขาเป็นคนที่นำนักกอล์ฟต่างชาติเข้ามาเล่นกอล์ฟในเมืองไทยปีหนึ่งนับหมื่นคนนะครับเป็นการทำทัวร์อินบาวด์ที่ใหญ่ที่สุดในเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้เพราะฉะนั้นคนนี้ครับมีบทบาทสำคัญกับการท่องเที่ยวและก็กีฬากอล์ฟในบ้านเรานะครับและที่สำคัญนะครับกอล์ฟรายการใหญ่อย่าง Thailand Golf Championship ที่จะจัดการแข่งขันในไม่อีกกี่สัปดาห์ข้างหน้านะครับมีนักกอล์ฟชั้นนำอย่างเซอร์จิโอกาเซียอย่างบ๊อบบ้าวัตสันมาร่วมทำการแข่งขันนะครับบ้านเราจัดทัวร์นาเมนต์ใหญ่ขนาดนี้มีผลแค่ไหนในการดึงดูดนักท่องเที่ยวจากชาติเข้ามาบ้านเรามากขึ้นนะครับวันนี้พบกับคุณมาร์ค ซีเกิลนะครับแขกรับเชิญของผมซึ่งเป็นผู้ทำทัวร์อินบาวด์รายใหญ่ในเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้ครับ
เราพูดกันติดปากว่ากอล์ฟเป็นกีฬาที่นำเงินเข้าประเทศได้อย่างมหาศาลแต่ละปีมีชาวต่างชาติซื้อทัวร์เข้ามาเล่นกอล์ฟในบ้านเราเป็นจำนวนมากนักกอล์ฟกลุ่มใหญ่ที่สุดมาจากประเทศไหนพวกเขาติดใจอะไรในเมืองไทยและอยากให้สนามเมืองไทยพัฒนาเรื่องอะไรมากที่สุดวันนี้ผมมีโอกาสจับเข่าคุยกับชาวต่างชาติคนหนึ่งที่เข้ามาจับธุรกิจอินบาวด์กอล์ฟทัวร์เข้าเมืองไทยมานานนับ10 ปีคำตอบของเขาน่าจะเป็นประโยชน์กับผู้ประกอบการสนามกอล์ฟบ้านเราครับพบกับมาร์ค ซีเกิลผู้บริหารบริษัทกอล์ฟเอเชียนกับประสบการณ์ในการออกรอบสนามกอล์ฟในเอเชียตะวันออกเฉียงใต้มาแล้วกว่า400แห่ง
Okay, Mark, thank you for joining Golf Talk Thailand today.
Yeah, sure, my pleasure.
How you end up over here in Thailand doing a business inbound golf?
Oh, so I came here about 9 years ago to retire.
Okay.
And I was doing other work like engineering work and just enjoyed Thailand so much and the golf was so good I decided to make it my home forever.
From engineer to golf tour.
Yeah.
How's that? That's completely changing your life.
Yeah, so it's a totally new career. Okay. So what happened is I met a golf pro here in Thailand who was giving me some lessons. And actually he came up with the idea to start a golf travel company and he was going to give lessons to tourists while they were here playing golf. So I thought it was a good idea and I basically decided to start the company with him. After a few months he decided he didn't like it. So he left and went back to golf teaching and I had a golf tour company and decided to make a go of it myself.
So you have a background in golf before or just a regular golfer?
Just a regular amateur golfer playing once a month, maybe 6 times a year. And I wanted to play a lot when I retired here, so I started to get involved. And one thing led to another, and now we've become the largest golf tour operator in Thailand.
You remember your first round of golf in Thailand? Where is that taking place?
It was about 30 years ago. I played at the old CM Country Club, old course before it was renovated. When it was really the old course. And it was a great time from the beginning. I liked it and it's just gotten better every time I've gone since.
What is your first impression when you first went back when they renovate the course? Do you recognize the place or?
Yeah, that was my feeling. I couldn't recognize it. I thought I was in a different golf course. I didn't remember the holes. I didn't recognize the layout. And then luckily I had some pictures, old pictures, and I compared the old ones and actually it just was the same course, but it's fantastic.
Okay. Now they're having a new one, the water side.
Yeah, now there's 3 courses there and they're hosting professional golf tournaments. The ladies LPGA every year, and now they have the Thailand Open coming up at the Plantation, so it's, really world class.
Okay. How important for the inbound golf tour that Thailand hosts this kind of event, LPGA, and in a few weeks we're going to host the Thailand Golf Championship?
Well, the good thing about the tournaments is it gets a lot of publicity and grows a lot of awareness for wherever the tournaments are held. So Thailand in the past has had tournaments and now there's more and more. So it's a very good sign of things to come that more people will see the tournaments on TV and then more people will want to play and come to those courses where the tournaments were held.
Sing discovers 500 ค่คุณเปิดโลกก็เปลี่ยน
สนับสนุนรายการโดย
ต้อนรับโฉมใหม่ น้ำดื่มสะอาด น้ำดื่มสิง
potential that you can, in the next few years that would be a million maybe
Easy, because the golf courses are quite busy only about 4 months during the year, from around December to March. And the other 8 months, there's a lot of availability on the courses still. So there's no issue to grow golf tourism, particularly during the 8 months when the courses are slow.
what's your biggest market Aussie,
Aussie.
American or the European
Aussie by far.
Really?
Aussie's almost half of our incoming golfers coming from Australia. It's a huge potential. The golf in Australia is good, but it's not nearly as fun as playing golf in Thailand. So we see a lot of Aussies come here. The enjoyment that they get from playing golf is no comparison to what they can get back home. And the costs are not that much different, so
okay
it's a different level of trip altogether.
what's the main destination Phuket probably maybe
No, Hua Hin is the biggest destination.
Really?
Yeah, Hua Hin is more than double the other destinations, which are Phuket, Bangkok, Pattaya, and Chiang Mai.
so the magnet in Hua Hin probably like Black Mountain
Black
and
Mountain, Banyan.
Banyan.
Yeah, there's really, really spectacular courses, and then the other 6 courses are also good to play. Black Mountain is just so convenient for tourism. Everything's so close together. There's no long transportation, there's no traffic jams, there's many hotels on the beach. The town is easy to walk around at night to go out and do things. To get to the golf course only takes about 20 minutes, and people really like it. Once you're there, you just stay put and you can play 7, 8 courses in 10 days and have the best golf trip anybody can imagine.
I know the old course is quite old, but the layout, everybody play there and love it.
Yeah.
What's your comment as a golfer at the course? You just erase the condition, just the layout and challenge of the course.
Yeah, my preference is to old parkland style courses.
Okay.
I like that a lot. They're very hard to make new these days because the trees take 20 years to grow, and the land is more like a natural, some rolling hills. It's not made by the moving of a lot of dirt. And that type of style to me is hard to duplicate. So the new course, which is fantastic conditioning, you can build a new course anywhere in the world.
Right.
I mean, if you have the money and the time and the expertise, you can do it. But for the older style courses, you can't recreate them. So that's one really I appreciate, and I like playing those kind of courses myself.
If Hua Hin is a top destination, where else that you send your tour to?
In Thailand, there's 5 main golf destinations: Hua Hin, Phuket, Pattaya, Bangkok, and Chiang Mai.
Okay.
This is mainly for the foreign tourists coming to play golf in this country.
What's the advantage of Thailand when compared to neighbor like Vietnam, Malaysia, or even China? That the golf is growing at the moment.
Thailand has one major advantage over all of the other countries in Asia is the service.
Okay.
And the service comes from the culture, and the culture takes hundreds of years to change. It's not something that you can just teach someone how to be nice or teach someone how to smile. People learn that from maybe their parents or maybe their grandparents. And in Thailand, is such a big difference from the time you arrive and you get off the airplane till the time you leave. The people just friendly and smiling. The other countries, the golf is very good. There's excellent courses. There's very good hotels. The style of the people's habits, mannerisms still doesn't match the type of service you can get here in Thailand.
Any challenger?
Challenger, yeah. All the other countries trying to compete.
Closest one.
Maybe Vietnam.
Really?
Vietnam. The major effort by the government and by the industry to focus on tourism overall and golf tourism specifically.
As a businessman doing inbound golf to Thailand, what would you like to see Thai government pushing in terms of golf and tourists? In which part that would help your business?
I'd like to see the focus on the high-end golf courses.
Okay.
The tourists that come here They're traveling a long way to get here, and they're usually looking to play the best quality courses they can, not the average course that the local person wants to play. So they don't have that much time. They can't play 200 golf courses, so they have to pick, 5 or 10 of the best ones. And that one, if the promotion, there's focus, the information on getting those courses more accessible and more recognized, that'll help golf tourism a lot.
At the moment, if you can bring your tour to 5 golf courses in Thailand, what would that be?
That's a hard question. But let's say in Bangkok, Thai Country Club stands out as the course with the best service. It's run like a resort, and it really shows when the time you arrive till the time you leave. In Hua Hin, Black Mountain, and Banyan have the same characteristics of very high standard with very good service while you're there. Phuket, Red Mountain stands out as one of the most unique courses in the country, that the elevation, topography at the course is something you never find anywhere in the world. And in Chiang Mai Highlands is the big standout there in terms of, again, service and golf quality put together.
สนับสนุนรายการโดย
ต้อนรับโฉมใหม่ น้ำดื่มสะอาด น้ำดื่มสิง
To your personal life, what do you like most about living in this country? You've been here for 20 years now, you said?
No, I've been here for 9 years.
9
I've been
years.
coming for about 30 years
Okay.
on vacation and holidays, but I lived here full-time 9 years.
What do you like most about Thailand?
The same thing as what the tourists like, is the people and the culture and the service. It's a very high quality of life with a very reasonable cost. Pretty much that is hard to duplicate anywhere else that I've found. And I've traveled all over the world, and I can't find another country that has so many characteristics that are all combined to make it a very comfortable place to live.
We look at the positive side. Now, be serious with me. You have negative side, many negative side. What's the weakness in terms of dealing business and in golf in Thailand?
Well, I think everyone knows in the past there's been many once-in-a-lifetime events that happened in Thailand. So things like economic crisis, natural disaster, political crisis, they all kind of somehow keep coming up year after year. So it makes business very difficult to carry on because nobody knows what's the next crisis that's going to come up. So we have to have plans for growth, and we also have plans just in case there was a crisis coming up, what we're going to do.
Not so stable.
Not so stable. So otherwise we could fail very quickly because we have a big investment in resources to make this successful, but we also need backup plans just in case something would happen.
I'm just curious about the number for the last 12 months, the last year or two, when we have the protests, in the city. How's that affect, and what kind of number that decrease from what you regularly have the tour coming into Thailand?
You might not believe this, but we had the largest tour group in Thailand that did not cancel after the riots last year. We had 450 golfers playing a golf tournament in Hua Hin in the month of June last year. So actually we were able to grow. The number of inbound golf tourists went up last year, not down. But it was distributed much differently than the previous year, where a lot of people were here in Bangkok. Very few.
People say Bangkok, the riot,
Right.
I'm just going to go golf anywhere else and it's not
Right.
going to get affected.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
Or we told people they were planning to come here and they wanted to cancel their trip. We said, okay, you could cancel, you can go to another country, or maybe you want to look at another destination. So instead of spending 3 days in Bangkok, and 1 week in Phuket. We just go 10 days in Phuket. So we're able to reroute people. And I think the reason is the golfers who have been coming here are pretty intelligent. They've been here and they've seen problems happen and things come and go. So they take our suggestion and, for the most part, have a good trip. I mean, really what goes on and what's seen in the news is not affected at the golf course at all. As you know, you wouldn't know anything's going on when you're at the golf course.
So normally, you told me before we start the programs that the customer normally come back to Thailand. You have the people who return to golf in different part, but not in China.
Yeah.
More or less.
It was very funny when I first started this company. I had the idea to give bad service because I thought that golfer would travel to a different place every year of his life, and it would be 50 years till they repeated to go to the same place. Because let's say 1 year they come here, another year they go to another country, third year a third country, fourth year, and so forth. But what I found was very strange. When people came here, at the end of their trips, they told me they don't want to go anywhere ever again. They just want to keep coming back here. They like it so much that they stop traveling to any other place. And we have people at the end of their trip here, before they've left, book next year's trip.
Wow.
And the trip they want is the same trip. Like the same golf courses, the same hotels, the same drivers, the same caddies, even the same room in the same hotel. They liked it so much, and they leave behind all the extra money they have as a deposit for next year's trip. It's unbelievable that people enjoy it and come back. At least 50% of the people are coming back year after year. And golfers, they're pretty social, so they tell their friends and they come back with friends. So it's not hard to see why it grows even when things are not going so good on the external environment or with the political situation. People know that they've been here already. They see that it doesn't affect anything. They keep coming back. This is for golfer.
Why not in China? China make a huge golf course, like a city, a town of golf, like 10 golf course, like in Shenzhen or good course in Kunming.
Most of the golf courses in China were built for selling memberships or real estate to Chinese people.
Not for tourists.
Not for tourists. You can play there as a tourist at some of the courses. The better courses are still members only. But the ones for tourists that are in the southern part of China are hard to get to, and the service for non-Chinese people is very difficult to navigate. So you would need to bring a translator to the golf course. You couldn't communicate with a caddy or the starter to tell you who you are or what time to play. In Thailand, they're so used to having foreigners here that it's very easy to accommodate anybody from anywhere in the world.
What's the average when golfers come to Thailand? How many days would they spend and how many rounds of golf each would play?
It kind of depends. There's two distinct markets. There's people from Asia coming to Thailand to play golf, and they might come for 3 or 4 days. Long weekends, maybe they spend 3 days, play 2 times or 3 times, even on their way in, their way out. And that's year-round. People are coming any time of the year to play, but a lot over the weekends more than the weekdays. And then the longer countries from further away, like Australia, Europe, Japan, Korea, United States, they're coming for maybe a 10-day trip.
Okay.
And during the 10-day trip, they could play golf as many as 10 times, but usually about 5 to 7 times. 2 or 3 days they'll play golf. So they're spending a lot of money here. The trips are quite long, and it's very rewarding to have these people here and see how happy they are during their trip.
People saying, as a golfer, at some point you will learn something from golf and apply to your life or business. What have you learned? The best lesson from playing golf and apply that to your business?
I don't know that I've learned that much from golf for my business, but I've learned a lot from golf for my life.
Okay.
For example, being patient. If you're not patient when you play golf, you'll get very frustrated and very angry very fast. But if you're patient in golf or in life, usually the good things will come to you. So you will hit a good shot, or you will sink a long putt, or you will be successful in your life. So that one stands out among everything.
Who's your favorite player at the moment?
My favorite player is Tiger Woods.
Oh, that could be at all times. Or
At all times. I think if many people like him or don't like him, I think he's brought a lot of interest and excitement to the game. And I think still he's a big draw to the game of golf, whether it be on TV or in person or just at amateur playing.
that leads to the last question. Part of the answer already, with, answer with Tiger Woods. My question is, if you can pick a dream foursome, 3 other players to play with in your group, who would that be? Anyone in the world? One, you say one.
Tiger Woods.
Of course, Tiger Woods. The other 2 would be.
Probably Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and myself.
Okay.
That'll be a good foursome. I'm not sure it'll ever
Thank you very
happen.
much.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
for your time.
Thank you.
การสนทนากอล์ฟทอล์กในวันนี้นะครับเชื่อว่าท่านผู้ชมคงจะได้รับรู้เรื่องราวที่เราไม่เคยทราบมาก่อนเกี่ยวกับการทำทัวร์อินบาวด์แล้วก็จำนวนนักกอล์ฟต่างชาติไม่ว่าจะเป็นคนออสเตรเลียคนอเมริกันหรือว่าคนยุโรปที่หลั่งไหลเข้ามาสู่สนามกอล์ฟในบ้านเราปีหนึ่งนับหมื่นทีเดียวนะครับการสนทนาในวันนี้นะครับขอบคุณโรงแรมคลาวด์พลาซ่ากรุงเทพลุมพินีพาร์คนะครับและขอบคุณสิงห์คอร์ปอเรชั่นผู้สนับสนุนรายการนะครับพบกันใหม่สัปดาห์หน้าครับสัปดาห์นี้สวัสดีครับ